Hello, American Patriots. I think I've got this working now. Was trying to go live from my desktop. It was not working. So possibly my iPhone, it will work. Technology is not my best friend at the moment. Anyhow, um, I was going to put out a video on today, and I didn't get around to it for several reasons. One of them being that kind of been under the weather, although I'm feeling better at the moment. Uh, my son's been sick, my oldest boy. My wife has been sick, so we're trying to everybody get healthy around here. But anyhow, I figured I'd go live for a while and kind of open this up to you guys to discuss whatever it is you'd like to discuss about this past weekend and the events that are unfolding right this moment. Actually, um, it's been pretty stupid, to say the least. Uh, we have Congressman King that is under attack now, not only from the left and the Democrats, but also from the Republican Party. Congressman King is being accused of being a racist because of some remarks that he's made in the past, going back to 2013. If you haven't heard those remarks, I suggest that you do a little homework and check it out for yourself. I have listened to all the remarks he's made, and I don't find anything offensive about it. What I do find offensive is the remarks that have been made by people such as, I don't know, let's see, Maxine Waters and Cory Booker and Sheila Jackson. Um, we can go on and on with members of the Democratic Party that should have the exact same. If you're going to go after Stephen King, what he did, then they need to physically remove some of these Democrats that have said some just outrageous, horrible things. They took Stephen King off of all of his committees today. They stripped him. The Republican Party stripped him uh, of his committees. He doesn't have a job anymore in Congress. Nothing. He can vote when something comes up, but that's it. Basically, he's just a lame duck now. Uh, But yet we have members of the Democrat Party that have actually called for violence against our president and violence against his administration and violence against Republicans and conservatives. And that's okay. So um, I'm at a point right now where I think we all know where this is headed. And I really hate to, I'm not going to, at this juncture in life, uh, I'm not going to go into any detail with that, but I'm working on my own plans that will be exposed in the near future for anyone that's an American patriot that would like to join me. And we're going to go march on Washington, D.C., and we're going to clean up some shit over there, all right? Because it's run amok. It really is. Uh, I'm just beyond myself with what happened to my country. I'm remembered constantly. I'll remember very, very vivid memory. Uh, my great uncle Charlie Rochelle. He served in World War II on the USS Biloxi, uh, the USS Milwaukee in the Navy. Deathbed, and we're talking. Um, let's see, it's been 8 now, I believe, since he passed. Stand by a second. What? I don't know what that means. I'm being told from the other room that my phone is going in and out. And that now YouTube's not working via my iPhone either. It wasn't working via my computer on my desk. Now, this. Your phone is leaking. Yeah, it's doing something pretty stupid. Yes, freezing up bad. That's just freaking great. Mm. Well, I don't know how to fix it, folks. This is a YouTube glitch, I guess. I got a brand new iPhone. We're talking the latest shit on the market at the moment I'm using, to include my PC here at the house. And I live in a city that's got excellent internet, but yet for some reason this is all glitching up. Is it still doing it? Okay, well, I'll continue. So what I was saying was my great uncle Charlie Rochelle served in World War II. I remember him very vividly in his last days saying to me that he was happy to leave, uh, to go on to another life wherever God had intended for him. Uh, Basically, he was ready to die, is what he was saying, and he was happy that he was dying. And I said, why? You know, who would be happy that they're going to die here any day now? And and his reasoning behind that was because he said, this is not the same country that I fought for. And man, that hit hard to realize that here is this World War II veteran that didn't want to live here anymore. Literally was ready to die because of what has happened to his country. And we had several talks in his last few days. Um, it was it was very emotional. This was during the Obama era, and even though things were bad at that time under Obama, I didn't quite see it the way he saw it. All right, now, granted, he had all this time since World War II to present to watch major changes taking place in America. But here we are in 2018 or 2019 now. It hit me in 2018 when I realized that I get it now. I understand because now I feel that way. I'm not ready to die. Don't misunderstand that. But what I'm saying is the way he felt about his country as to it wasn't the same country he fought for. That's how I feel right now. This is not the America or the American way that I served honorably 4 combat tours for. My brothers and sisters died for and were injured for. Even myself, I'm uh, disabled due to my service. So I look at life today all around me and what's happening in our country, and I say, well, this is, now I understand. Um, I was very, very happy the day that Trump became our president. Not because I wanted Trump per se, but because I didn't want Hillary Clinton. To me, she was the Antichrist. She was Satan. And that was the last person I wanted running our country. What I'm watching happen now, and so are you, is how the Republican Party, not just the Democrat Party, but the Republican Party, in their own way, has fought this president every step of the way and continue to do things and say things and take action, such as what they're doing right now against Congressman King, that is just sad. It's really sad to see what we've become. Um, I had a conversation a few nights ago with my wife about how I believe we're seeing the end of an era per se. And what do I mean by that? I my generation, let's put it that way. Let's just take my generation. Okay, so I'll be 57 in April. This is the end of us. Okay, uh, if you're an adult right now, no matter your age, if you're an adult and you're a conservative, you're a Republican, we're it. Okay, it's because the liberals have not only hijacked the Democrat Party, but they've hijacked our school system. They've hijacked our elementaries, our high schools, and our colleges. The liberals are indoctrinating our children with socialist ideas. I mean, we currently, right this moment, have in Congress, as you all know, admitted socialists. Um, these are the people that some of the people that we just elected into our Congress. If we were talking back 25, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, they would be considered communist. They would be arrested for the way that they're speaking right now. All right. They would be looked at as uh, treason with what they're saying. But it's slowly becoming the norm. And so that's what's happened to the Democrat Party. So, in somebody being born right now, for instance, a baby today, when he's old enough or she's old enough to vote, and 18 years from now, will not be voting Republican and conservative. And if they are, they're going to be very few of them because of what's happened in the education system and the hijacking that's taken place by these liberals. So I'll be dead and gone. And the rest of you that are, if you're around my age, 57, 58 years old, um, you will too. Okay. So we won't witness this, but you younger folks out there that are, in your teens or in your 20s or 30s, uh, you're going to witness an America unlike anything that I fought for, or as I mentioned earlier, my great uncle fought for. You're going to watch and see firsthand a country destroyed from within. And I fully believe that. Right now, it's the last hope that we have. It's dwindling away. I currently have 3 kids that are in college right now. I have one in college here in Lake Charles. I have one in college in Baton Rouge. I have one in college up in Ruston, Louisiana, and that's here in the South. And I can tell you what they're preaching to the children that's so wrong. It's anti-American rhetoric, and it's hateful. And I know from friends and family members that live out west that, and we see it on the news as well, um, if you let them know, let's say you go to Berkeley or you go to any college in California or Oregon or Washington State, uh, and they find out you're a conservative or Republican, your life's going to be miserable on that campus, if not run off. You won't be able to express your views. And so that's in 2019 with a Republican president. What do you think is going to happen in 18 years from now for the new people being born at the moment? It's going to be, they're the next people to take over our country. And we've watched, what happens to socialism. We know what happens. We know what happens when the gun grabbers come. Okay? We've seen that take place. We're not learning from our history. They say if you don't learn from history, you're bound to repeat it. Well, guess what? That's that's happening because they're not teaching history anymore. They're not teaching American history. Okay, uh, they're taking down Confederate monuments. They're erasing anything to do with God or anything to do with the Bible. Uh, you're far fetched to go find a hotel anywhere in America right now where there's going to be a Bible in the nightstand. That used to be normal procedure. I mean, that was any hotel you went to, there was going to be a Bible in that room. Uh, God's been taken out of the courtroom, taken out of the schools. Here in the South, we still have a few institutions left, schooling left that has uh, the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning and a prayer and a prayer at the football games, sporting events. But that's going away, especially out west. You know, so in 18 years from now, it'll be gone. I'd be willing to bet. Of course, there's nobody that can take me up on that because you're a baby at the moment that will experience this. But I'd be willing to bet that in 18 years from now, when someone born today goes to spend their money, there will not be "In God We Trust" on American currency. That is the last of what will be hit. And if you second you're not already thinking about that and that's already in the works, then you're wrong because I can assure you they are. Uh, I do believe in my what's left of my time here on Earth that I'm going to see drastic changes in gun laws. Um, I believe that within the next 15 years, maybe 10, they're going to come for my guns. Of course, at that point, I'd be an old cranky man sitting on the front porch with my shotgun, and they will pry it out of my cold dead hands, as the saying goes. You know, my son once told me that uh, when he watched the movie Gran Torino, uh, he was reminded of me. Of course, I'm not that bad, and everybody knows that, and he knows it too. But the character that Clint Eastwood played, uh, I can see myself in that character to a certain degree. But anyhow, that was kind of funny. Excuse me. So anyhow, what do you want to talk about? What else do we have? What other topic can we just covered King. Uh, I'd love to read uh, of this chat, but it's going by so fast that it's just not possible. thank you for all those that are tuning in tonight to watch this. In the past, the live chats I've done have been when I'm places outside of my home. I think the last one I did was when I was up in Washington, D.C. I think I did one from Memphis one time. I plan to get back down to Pensacola, Florida, as soon as it warms up a little bit. And I'm going to do one from the beach with a drink in my hand. But we will, I have, give you a little hint. I'm already thinking about what we need to do as patriots, and we need to do it very big, and it needs to happen while Congress is in session in DC. And the liberals are doing it to Republicans, the Democrats are doing it, then guess what? We need to take care of that problem. We need to go up there and show them that we're not going to take this shit anymore. I'm not talking about violence. We're not there yet. Hopefully we won't be. But I am talking about taking a stand. And I'm going to need a lot of you guys with me. All right. The last time anything like this was attempted, we did it a little over a year ago, and we got rained out, sadly. We still had a lot of people showed up, but it wasn't what we expected. We might have had a few hundred people there, but that's not what we need. We need thousands of people to show up at this next event when we go to Washington, D.C. I need literally thousands of people to join me. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Otherwise, we just soon sit back at home, sit on our ass, and just watch them destroy our country. And I'm one that says, let's put up a fight. Let's get back in their face. Let's go straight to the door. Let's take several thousand people and go to Maxine Waters' office in Washington, D.C., and Nancy Pelosi's office, and Chuck Schumer's office. Let's do that with thousands of American patriots. For some reason, the left is, well, I know why. Okay, I was going to say, for some reason, the left is able to mobilize all these freaking people for these marches. That's because they don't have jobs, most of them. Okay, they're a bunch of lazy ass bums living off the government's tit, and we're providing for them. Okay, so I get that. All right, so that's why we're going to have to do this on a Saturday. Plan for a weekend where we all start showing up on Thursday, get organized on Friday, or start showing up on Wednesday, get organized on Thursday, and Friday, go hit these offices with thousands of people. Go to the White House, run all these freaking liberals out of town. When I was up there last several months ago, it was shocking to see how many liberals have tent cities set up right there on Pennsylvania Avenue, just talking crazy, radical shit. We go up there and clean that crap up and run their ass out of town because they're destroying our America. All right. Everything up there in Washington, D.C. belongs to we the people. That White House belongs to we the people. The Capitol building, all of that. Those people are you know what their responsibility is? Us. Okay? They are, it's us, period. They work for us. And that's not what they're doing. And we're not going to let Republicans off the hook with this no more than we're going to let Democrats off the hook with this. their responsibility, their only purpose in life is to listen to the people. So the last time I went to DC and did this whole thing, you know, a few hundred people, um, it was just wasn't happening. And I wasn't in charge of the organizationing of it or organizing it. I was just played my part, which was to go up there and speak about veterans issues. And we did it in one location. And that's not what I want to do this time. Okay. I want to have a main event, yes, at one location on the National Mall. But then I want to take the crowd with me and physically go to their offices and get in their face. I want to give Maxine Waters, I want to put it right back in her face. I want to show that horrible human being what thousands of American patriots are willing to do and get right back in her damn face. And the same thing with Cory Booker, that wasted piece of human garbage. And Sheila Jackson, I want to be standing this close to Sheila Jackson. There's so many things I want to say to that vile, disgusting cockroach, because that's exactly what she is. Anyone that has the ability to speak the way they do about conservatives and Republicans and our president needs to be shut down by thousands of us. So I'm going to plan this, okay? I'm going to do all the groundwork on it. I'm going to put it together. And then I'm going to announce it. I'm going to let you all know. This is when we're going to do it. And damn it, you got to be there. Unless you're disabled and unable to travel, or you have no money and you can't travel because you have no money, okay, I get that. But even if you have a full-time job, which you should if you're a conservative Republican, unless you're, like I say, disabled or you're older on Social Security, that's a totally different thing. But if you're not disabled and you have a normal 9 to 5 job and you're supporting your family, guess what? Use your vacation time if you have it for this period. And I'm going to give advance notice when we're going to do this. Okay, it's not like I'm going to spring it on you guys. But I've got to have your support, or I just soon go spit in a fan because it's a waste of time to show up there for a few hundred people. And that's what happened the last time. And I'm not going to do that again. No way in hell. It's either we show up in force or we don't. So you've been warned, it's coming. Be ready for the announcement when I put it out there. And we're going to make this happen. We're going to go to Washington, D.C., and we're going to get back in their face. And the news media will be there, just like they covered the last event we did. CNN was there, MSNBC was there, as you know, Fox News was there. They're going to cover us if we have thousands of people, and especially if we start going to their offices. And we're not going to do anything illegal, and we're not going to do anything violent, okay? But if somebody does something violent towards us, like these Antifa little bitches, or who knows, 2 years ago up there, we had the Black Lives Matter people try to shut us down. All right. So if something like that happens, then guess what? We fight fire with fire. If they get violent, then we run them out of town. But that's hopefully won't happen. Uh, Look where we're at in America. Look where we're at right now. I'm in the past week, we've had 3 police officers killed in the line of duty. Nobody respects law enforcement anymore. Nobody respects veterans anymore. When I say nobody, I'm talking about what's happening. The country is slowly becoming all Democrat and liberal. And just by what's happening on the border and them calling for open borders and calling for the elimination of ICE, that in itself tells you they don't care about law enforcement. They don't care about what veterans have sacrificed and our military sacrificed to make this the greatest country on the face of the earth. They don't care about the rule of law. They literally don't care. Right? Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer don't give a shit. Somebody said earlier today, and I agree 100% with this. In fact, it was in my community section. Somebody was mentioning that we should pass out flyers on the border that have the address for sanctuary homes that they can go to. And we give the addresses of not the Washington, D.C. address, but the actual physical address of all of the Democrat congressmen and women are written on this form. And we pass that shit out to everybody coming across the border. You want to go somewhere safe? Here's where you go. And we pass it out to them. And see what happens when they start showing up at these Democrats' houses. We've got to start thinking like the enemy, my friends. And yes, I said enemy because that's how I look at these people. They are. There was a point in time just a few years ago where I was concerned that, and it still might happen, and I pray it doesn't, but I was concerned that we were going to have massive sleeper cells of terrorists from the Middle East because we know of them in existence, popping up everywhere and doing horrible things to Americans. But I think our biggest threat right now is our own people. And I really do, not every one of these Democrats, because I've actually heard some of the new Democrats that have come on board, a few of them that sound pretty damn reasonable. But let's just say 90% of those in Congress in the Democrat Party, I personally view as my enemy. They are against everything our founding fathers stood for. They are against our flag. They are against American values. They are against our law enforcement. They are against our military and our veterans. And that's bullshit. All right. These people are hateful human beings that do not deserve to be in our country. And they're in our damn Congress. They've been elected to our Congress to represent us. So unless we bring thousands of people to the next rally up there and show them that we're not going to stand for this shit, then it's going to get worse, my friends. What's this new girl that I don't even know her freaking name. What is it? AOC? the new, Alexandra Cortez, isn't it? Yeah, Alexandra Cortez, I think's her name. How did that happen? How did that happen? Just stop for a second. Seriously, think about this. What's coming out of her mouth, if that same rhetoric was coming out, if anyone of any party were preaching what she's preaching today, going back 30 years ago, back during, let's say before Reagan, during the Cold War era, they would be taken off the street. And now they're in our Congress. That crazy bitch is in our Congress. And she is batshit crazy. I mean, she's really just lost her freaking mind. But yet, that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of this live cast, is that that's what they're teaching these kids at our colleges. They're being brought up to hate America. They're being brought up and taught a socialist idea that is just nuts. And we're stuck with it. We're the ones that have to live with this shit. Or we take back our country and we run their ass out of town. You know? How do you do that with not being violent? Other than, we go up there and we peacefully protest with thousands and thousands of American patriots to go get in their face and say, you're wrong. You are on the wrong side of history. So it's got to happen, my friends. Excuse me. What else is going on? Well, excuse that was strong and good. I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking. Let me bring something up a while ago I was looking at. Where was this at? Oh, yeah, okay, I remember what I wanted to tell you. So Trump invites today the Clemson Tigers, that won the championship, beat Alabama, to the White House for lunch. And he fed them McDonald's and Wendy's hamburgers and French fries. Now, first, that's funny. Second is that they love that shit, okay? Because now it's off season and, they can't eat that stuff, during the season. Some of them can because of their bodybuilding and whatnot, so it's not going to hurt them, okay? But this is just what those kids wanted. But the left is going just nuts over this. How disgusting, how horrible, how, distasteful was it that our president did something so bad, But if he had brought out caviar and champagne and steak and lobster, they'd have slammed him for that, for being extravagant and so, he can't win, period. He just can't win, no matter what he does. But, yeah, they loved it. They loved it. They just crammed their face full of Whoppers and fries and loved that shit. So that was funny. Let's see what else. Oh, HP would like me to know that my warranty has expired on my computer. Well, that's not possible because it's brand new. What else is going on? So we have sponsors now from Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News that are pulling away from him because the left is claiming that he's racist and that some of the things he's saying are un-American, although, they don't know what un-American is because they don't have mirrors in their house. If they did, they would realize that. So we need, you know what, I find out who all these sponsors are in the next couple of days, and I'll put it up in the community section, but we need to go on a boycott of their ass. Tucker Carlson's done nothing but put out the truth. And spell it out just the way it is. Okay, here's the facts. This is what's happening, and they try and the left has attacked Fox News with everything they've got. They ran off Bill O'Reilly. They run off a lot of people, but yet we have Don Lemon over at CNN, still on his knees in front of his boyfriend that's not run off from anything. And he's able to say all this anti-hateful white shit and Republican and anti-conservative and just run his mouth. He is a vile, disgusting cockroach and nothing gets done to him. He's allowed to just spew his hate and continue on. Let me put something out there real quick. I've been asked, I've had many people say, why do you watch CNN and MSNBC? Well, why do you do that, Doug? Because you have to know your enemy, okay? It's a military tactic. The military taught me this, okay? Law enforcement taught me this too, all right? You have to know your enemy. And CNN and MSNBC is the enemy of we, the people, the patriots of America. They are our enemy, just like the Democrats are, just like the liberals are, the far left liberals are, okay? They're our damn enemy. And if we don't know what they're doing and we don't know what they're saying, then they're going to do what they're doing right now to this country, which is they snuck out of nowhere and took it over. We already talked about what they've done in the colleges and the high schools. We talked about what they're doing in Congress now. Because the rest of us were asleep, not watching CNN and MSNBC. I'm not saying I want you to go watch them because I don't. All right? The least amount of people watch them, the better. But I need to watch them so I can let you guys know what they're saying. That's why I do that. That's why and it's difficult. I'll be the first to admit that when I'm done watching CNN, I want to take a pencil in each hand and shove it through my eardrums because it's enough to drive you freaking insane. Listening to and not only listening to them, the people that run the different shows on CNN and MSNBC, but the people they bring in that are experts, there's even military veterans, generals, colonels, people that were very high respected in our military that have turned into liberal little pink panty wearing rainbow freaking freaks. And they're now experts on military operations, spewing their hatred about our president and our country. Okay, so just because you served in the military doesn't make you a freaking patriot. That's for damn sure. And they're living proof of that crap. But anyhow, without going further into that, that's pretty much what I mean by that's why I watch CNN and MSNBC. Okay? I need to know what these people are up to. That's the only way we can stay on top of this shit. All right? And that's just facts. This is new. Woman was arrested for a 100-mile-an-hour chase by the police. And during the chase, let's see, where was this at? This should be freaking hilarious. She was shoplifting at a Kohl's store. And why doesn't it tell us where it was at? It seems like that'd be one of the first things that should pop up here. Okay, it was in Indiana. And as they're chasing her, she's throwing all the stuff that she stole. They got up to 100 miles per hour. All the stuff she stole, she's throwing out of her car, which are panties and bras and lingerie, is being scattered all over the interstate as the cops are chasing her. Jeez. So where was I? Let me go back to okay, so let's see. We have the next thing that's happening. We have adult film star, aka slut, Stormy Daniels, is seeking $2 million from the law enforcement officers that arrested her at the strip club recently, last year. Hopefully that'll be thrown out of court. Let's talk about law enforcement for a minute. The hunt continues today for the suspect that gunned down the brand new female law enforcement officer up in Shreveport, Louisiana. They still have not found that person yet. How sad. Let's see. 13 days into 2019. Here we go. 7 police officers have been killed in the past 13 days in America. I'll repeat that. 13 police officers have lost their lives in America in the first 13 days of 2019. Let that sink in. Says that's a 33% overall increase from the same time last year. Unfreaking believable. And Fox News lists all their names, all the people that have lost their lives. In 2017, in the line of duty, we lost 129 police officers. And who are all these people that are killing police officers? I don't think I need to go there. I don't need to tell you guys who they are, because you know who they are. They're illegal aliens, and they're a certain fringe element of Black Lives Matter. They're the ones that are responsible for the deaths in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the deaths up in Dallas, Texas. Hell, they're responsible for burning down half of Ferguson, Missouri. Okay, that was all Black Lives Matter that did that shit. Now, there are people in Black Lives Matter that have a complete, total different agenda, and I understand that from some of these radical people. But for the most part, I think you understand where I'm coming from. That's not to say that conservative, Republican, white guys don't commit crime. That's not true. I can tell you for a fact that that's not true. But that's not the majority of what's happening in our country. Okay? We also have this whole thing that's just recently come up with the FBI. Again, we're finding out that this whole thing with Comey and Peter Strzok and all these people that were against Trump, that stuff runs way deeper than what we knew about just 2 months ago. Okay, more is coming out, and real soon I'll be doing a video on that. I'm trying to get some names here, and that's coming together as to who they are. We've got some more deep-seated Republican conservative haters that work in the FBI in leadership positions that have not been weeded out yet. So that's in the works. I did a video, speaking of the FBI, I did a video 2 months ago. I think it was about 2 months ago, about a raid that the FBI did in Denham Springs, Louisiana, on a friend of mine's. I say a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, his business that was, they knew going into it that it was wrong and it should have never happened. And he was labeled for a matter of, well, he's still labeled basically as far as what people are led to believe, that he was a terrorist with bombs in his business and he was possibly going to blow up and kill people. None of it was true. And after the raid was done and over with and they realized that it wasn't true, they've yet to apologize to them. I just heard from his wife, I think it was last week, letting me know that they still have not said shit to them. They've not made a public remark about it or a comment, nothing. Neither has the Louisiana State Police that were involved or the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office that was involved. And those two agencies had people that knew this guy and had been inside his business and knew that the bombs that were there were demilled by the military and sold through Army surplus stores, and that he used these to educate kids at Veterans Day events. You know, all the veterans here in the South know the guy, know his business, have been in there, have seen all of his stuff. He's got all kinds of World War II and Vietnam era memorabilia that he collects and educates the youth at these veterans events about it. And so somebody called in a random thing to the FBI and said, you know, we got this terrace in Denham Springs. It's got all these bombs in there. And so in their lead up to the raid, they got with Louisiana State Police to get involved and the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office to be all a part of this. And they know damn good and well who he was and what was in there and that it was, none of this was true. Yet they did the raid anyhow and told everybody what in their first and only press conference, what they were doing. And then after they realized that it was bullshit, never came back out and said, we're sorry and we apologize and we made a mistake. I mean, here we are 2 months later, and this, his business is surrounded by subdivision. I mean, it's in the middle of a subdivision, basically. Okay, on both sides of the road are homes. To these people, there for a matter of hours or days for that, you know, thought that possibly there was a terrorist living there, right there in their neighborhood. Although he's never arrested, just out of his business so they could go and do this raid and have this big show of force. And don't come back and say, we're sorry, we made a mistake. That's our FBI did that. Somebody in leadership in the between New Orleans and Baton Rouge FBI did this shit to this guy and his family. The business is called, for those of you who don't know, the business is called American Coach Works. Okay, it's a towing company. And I've known the guy for years, and he's well known throughout South Louisiana by law enforcement as well as veterans. And they basically just ruined this guy's life and his business. And had to come out and say we're sorry. You know, I mean, to the actual men of the FBI out there doing the job day in and day out. I mean, they're only following orders from their leadership. Well, their leadership is incompetent, is F and all the rest of it, okay? They're incompetent. The way of putting it. This whole debacle that happened in Denham Springs that's sad. Now I'm hearing from the other room that there's a connection issue with my phone. So anyhow, I'm going to close it out for the night. I just want to come on and say a few things, everybody. Hello. I'm going to get some video out this week. Feeling a lot better than I was. And hope you all have a wonderful last night. As always, please our prayer for men and women serving the United States military, veterans, our law enforcement officers, families, our president, our country. Putting out very soon a date or dates and times for us, the American patriots, to go to Washington, D.C. and turn the tables on these incompetent people that the Democrats have put in office. And I need your support to do this. So that's all I've got. And when I figure out how to shut this thing down, I will do so. Hope you all have a wonderful and great night. Thank you so much for tuning in.